Kate Walsh did not mean to wake up an alien. She was just doing her job. Kate was the youngest scientist on the spaceship called Horizon's Edge. Her job was to study old ruins from alien worlds. The ship had been orbiting a moon for 3 weeks now. On this moon stood a huge black stone gate that no one could open or understand. The gate was smooth like glass, but dark as night. Strange marks covered its surface. They looked like spirals and stars. Kate had been studying these marks every day, trying to learn what they meant. "Are you scared of a door?" Olivia Bell asked through the radio in Kate's space helmet. Olivia was the ship's pilot and Kate's friend. Kate touched the strange marks on the gate with her gloved hand. "This isn't just a door, Liv. These marks show that whoever made this was much more advanced than us. Maybe 15,000 years more advanced. Still looks like a fancy door to me," Olivia said with a laugh. Kate felt a bit annoyed. She had spent weeks studying this gate. To show how silly Olivia was being, Kate put her hand on the center of the gate where a spiral mark was. She bowed like someone in an old movie. "By the ancient stars, I request passage," Kate said in a joking voice. The ground began to shake. From inside the gate came strange sounds, clicking, whirring, and a humming noise. The spiral under Kate's hand lit up with blue-purple light. The light spread across the whole gate. "Kate, get back!" Commander Diane Foster shouted from their camp nearby. Kate couldn't move. She watched as the black surface of the gate began to ripple like water. Then something came through. It was shaped like a human, but clearly not human. It stood nearly 7 feet tall. Its skin shimmered between dark blue and purple. It moved smoothly and gracefully, as if it had not been asleep for thousands of years. Then it opened its eyes. It had 3 of them arranged in a triangle on its face. Inside each eye were what looked like tiny galaxies swirling with stars. Kate felt words form inside her mind. The creature wasn't speaking out loud. It was putting thoughts directly into her head. "The seal is broken," the voice said inside her mind. "I am Sentinel Lyra, guardian of the 13th gate, the Voidborn approach. You have awakened me just in time." Kate tried to speak but found no words. The alien, Lyra, looked at the small group of humans. Her 3 galaxy eyes seemed to see through them. "You do not yet understand the danger," Lyra said into their minds. "But you will." Commander Foster stepped forward. She was a brave woman who had seen many strange things in space, but even she seemed small next to the alien Sentinel. "We mean no harm," Foster said. "We are explorers from planet Earth." Lyra tilted her head. "Earth, the 3rd planet of this solar system. It has been a very long time since I was last awake. Your kind were using stone tools then." Kate found her voice at last. "How long have you been here?" "Time means little in stasis," Lyra answered. "But by your counting, perhaps 50,000 of your years." The ground shook again. This time harder. The gate behind Lyra began to glow brighter. "We must return to your ship," Lyra said urgently. "The gate is now active. It will draw them here." "Draw who here?" Olivia asked. Lyra's expression grew dark. "The Voidborn. They consume worlds. They feed on life and leave only emptiness. My people, the Luminar, fought them long ago. We created the gates and placed sentinels like me throughout the galaxy as watchers and warriors." Commander Foster looked at the gate, then at Lyra. "If bringing you to our ship puts my crew in danger—" "Your crew is already in danger," Lyra interrupted. "Your world is in danger. I am its best hope for survival." Kate looked at the alien with wonder and fear. Just this morning she had been excited to study ancient markings. Now she was facing a being from the distant past warning about the end of the world. "We should listen to her," Kate said to Foster. "At least until we understand what's happening." Foster nodded slowly. "Fine, but you'll be under guard and you'll answer our questions." "As you wish," Lyra agreed. "But we must hurry. When a sentinel awakens, the Voidborn sense it. They will come to investigate. And then they will come to feed." The team packed their equipment quickly. As they prepared to return to their ship, Kate noticed that the gate was pulsing faster now, like a heartbeat getting quicker. "What happens to the gate now?" Kate asked Lyra. "It returns to its purpose," Lyra said. "It is both a door and a warning beacon. My ship lies hidden beneath this moon's surface. We will need it soon." "Your ship?" Olivia asked with wide eyes. Lyra looked up at the stars. "The Starweaver. A warship of the Luminar fleet. The last of its kind, perhaps." As they boarded their transport back to the Horizon's Edge, Kate looked back at the gate. It was now glowing so brightly it hurt to look at it. She had come to study the past, but had awakened something that would change their future. The transport lifted off the moon's surface. Through the window, Kate watched as the gate's light shot upward into space like a beacon, or a warning. Lyra stood beside her, those galaxy eyes fixed on the stars. "They will come," she said softly, "and you have much to learn before they do." The ship Horizon's Edge was not built to host an alien, but now Lyra sat in the medical bay, watching the humans with her 3 galaxy eyes. Dr. Amy Rodriguez ran tests and scans, trying to understand the strange being. "She's not like us," Amy told Captain Heather Grant in a low voice. "She's part living thing and part machine. Tiny machines live in her cells. Her body heat changes based on energy around her, and she doesn't need to breathe." Captain Grant was a tall woman with gray hair and a serious face. She had been in space for 20 years but had never seen anything like Lyra. "Can we trust her?" the captain asked. Amy shrugged. "I don't know, but she could have hurt us on the moon if she wanted to." In another room, Kate looked at the pictures from the moon. The gate was now a pillar of blue-purple light shooting into space. Every hour the light grew stronger. Lyra entered the room. She moved with a strange grace as if gravity didn't affect her the same way. "Your friends fear me," Lyra said. Kate nodded. "You can understand why. We've never met anyone like you before. And I have never met humans who could travel the stars," Lyra replied. "When I last saw your kind, you lived in caves and hunted with spears." "Things change," Kate said with a small smile. "Not the Voidborn," Lyra said darkly. "They have always been hunters. They have always been hungry." Kate pulled up a star map on her screen. "Tell me about them. What do they look like? Where do they come from?" "They come from the spaces between," Lyra explained. "They are not fully in your reality. They exist partly in what you might call another dimension. They look like—" She paused, searching for words. "Like shadows that move by themselves. Like holes in space. They cannot be reasoned with. They cannot be stopped with your weapons." "Then how do we fight them?" Kate asked. "With my ship," Lyra said. "The Starweaver. It was built to battle the Voidborn." Kate leaned forward. "Where is your ship?" "Beneath the surface of the moon. In a chamber deep below the gate. It has waited there as I slept." Captain Grant entered the room with Security Chief Laura Wilson beside her. Laura's hand rested on her gun. "We've detected something," Captain Grant said. "At the edge of our solar system. Several large objects moving toward us. They don't match any known ship designs." Lyra stood up. "They have found me. Sooner than I expected." "Who has found you?" Laura asked, her hand tightening on her gun. "The Voidborn scout ships," Lyra said. "They sense when a gate activates. They come to investigate." Captain Grant looked at the datapad in her hand. "These objects are moving in strange patterns. Sometimes they seem to disappear from our sensors, then reappear somewhere else. They shift between your reality and theirs," Lyra explained. "It makes them difficult to track or target." "How long until they reach Earth?" Kate asked. Captain Grant checked her pad. "At their current speed, 4 days. Maybe less." "We don't have much time," Lyra said. "We must return to the moon. We must awaken the Starweaver." "I'm not just going to let you go back down there to get some mystery weapon," Laura said firmly. Lyra turned her 3 eyes to the security chief. "It is not a weapon. It is a warship. And it may be your planet's only hope." Captain Grant was silent for a long moment. Then she made her decision. "I'll send a team with you. Kate, you'll go since you know the most about the gate. Laura, you'll go to keep an eye on our guest. Take Olivia to pilot the transport." "I should go too," Amy said from the doorway. She had been listening. "If this ship is as advanced as Lyra says, we should have someone with medical knowledge." Lyra nodded. "The doctor is wise to come. The Starweaver will need a crew. It will change those who bond with it." "Change them how?" Laura asked sharply. "The ship was made by the Luminar," Lyra said. "It responds to our thoughts, our energy. To control it, you must connect with it. become part of it in a way. Captain Grant looked troubled. Is it dangerous? Life is dangerous, Lyra replied. The Voidborn are certain death. The team prepared to return to the moon. Kate packed her research tools. She wasn't sure if they would be useful, but they were comfortable and familiar. Olivia checked the transport ship. This is crazy, she told Kate as they loaded supplies. Yesterday we were studying old rocks. Now we're going to find an alien warship to fight shadow monsters. Kate smiled nervously. Science is full of unexpected discoveries. This is a bit more than unexpected, Olivia said. As they prepared to leave, the ship's alarm sounded. Captain Grant's voice came over the speakers. The objects have accelerated, she said. New arrival time estimate, 36 hours. Kate looked at Lyra. The alien stood very still, her galaxy eyes fixed on something no one else could see. They know I am awake, Lyra said quietly. They are coming for me, for all of us. The transport ship left the horizon's edge and headed back to the moon. Through the windows they could see that the gate's light beam now reached far into space, a bright blue-purple finger pointing outward. The gate calls to the Starweaver, Lyra explained. It prepares the ship to awaken. The transport landed near the gate. Up close the light was blinding. They had to wear special glasses to look at it. Now what? Laura asked, her hand still near her gun. Now we descend, Lyra said. She placed her hand on the ground near the gate. The surface rippled like water, and a hole opened. Steps led down into darkness. The moon is hollow? Amy asked in surprise. Not hollow, Lyra corrected. Constructed. This is not a natural moon. My people built it to hide the Starweaver. Kate looked at the dark stairway leading down. Yesterday, she had touched a gate as a joke. Now she was about to enter an alien structure to find a warship to save Earth. Let's go, she said, and took the first step into the darkness. Lyra followed, her skin giving off a soft glow that lit their way. The stairs went down and down, deeper than seemed possible. The walls around them were covered in the same spiral marks as the gate. How much further? Olivia asked after they had been walking for almost an hour. We are nearly there, Lyra said. The ship rests at the core. Finally, the stairs ended at a vast door. It was made of the same black material as the gate, but much larger. Lyra placed her hand on it and it melted away. Behind the door was a chamber so large they couldn't see the other side. And floating in the center, held by beams of light, was the Starweaver. The ship was beautiful and strange. It looked like a giant black arrowhead with wings that curved like waves. Its surface rippled with the same blue-purple light as the gate. It's alive, Kate whispered. In a way, Lyra agreed. And it has been waiting a very long time. The first attack from the Voidborn ships hit the Starweaver like a wave of cold. Kate felt it through her connection to the ship. A draining sensation, as if something was trying to pull the energy out of the vessel and out of her body. They're trying to feed on our power, Lyra warned. Laura, strengthen the shields. Laura focused her thoughts and Kate felt the ship's defenses tighten. The draining sensation stopped. Olivia, return fire, Lyra commanded. Through their mental link, Olivia activated the Starweaver's weapons. Beams of blue-purple energy shot out, striking one of the Voidborn ships. The black vessel shuddered, parts of it seeming to fold in on themselves as they were forced fully into normal space. It worked, Olivia said excitedly. Do not celebrate yet, Lyra cautioned. Look, the damaged Voidborn ship was already repairing itself, the torn sections knitting back together like a wound healing. They adapt quickly, Lyra said. We must vary our attacks. The Starweaver moved with amazing speed, dancing between the 5 enemy ships. Olivia fired the weapons in different patterns, hitting the Voidborn vessels from various angles. 2 more enemy ships were damaged, but like the first, they began to repair themselves. This isn't working, Kate said. We're hurting them, but not enough. We need to get past these 5 and stop the main fleet, Amy added. They're still heading for Earth. Kate could sense the larger group of Voidborn ships moving steadily toward her home planet. They were now past Mars, entering Earth's neighborhood of space. Lyra was silent for a moment, thinking. There is another weapon, she finally said. One that targets all Voidborn in range at once. but it requires tremendous energy. Let's use it, Laura said. It will drain much of our power, Lyra warned. We will be vulnerable until the ship recovers. We don't have a choice, Kate said, looking at the fleet heading toward Earth. How do we activate it? Focus your minds with mine, Lyra instructed. Picture the enemy ships. Picture their strange half-existence between dimensions. Now imagine forcing them fully into this reality. The four humans joined their thoughts with Lyra's. Kate visualized the void-born ships as dark shadows being pulled into the light. She felt the others doing the same. Their mental energies merged, flowing through the ship. The Starweaver began to vibrate. The spiral patterns across its surface glowed brighter and brighter until they were almost white. Energy built up like a storm. Now, Lyra commanded. A pulse of energy exploded outward from the Starweaver. It wasn't visible exactly, but Kate could feel it. A wave that rippled through space, catching all the void-born ships. The effect was immediate. The 5 ships attacking them convulsed, parts of them becoming solid and visible while other parts seemed to flicker in and out of existence. The same happened to the main fleet further away. It's working, Amy exclaimed. They're being forced fully into our dimension, without their ability to exist partly outside normal space. The void-born ships were vulnerable. Their strange armor, designed to shift between realities, couldn't protect them when fully solid. Olivia, fire everything we have, Lyra ordered. Olivia sent a barrage of energy beams at the nearest enemy ships. This time the beams tore through the vessels, breaking them apart. The ships didn't repair themselves, they couldn't while trapped in normal space. 2 enemy ships exploded in bursts of dark energy. A third spun out of control, its systems failing. But the Starweaver was weakening. Kate could feel it through their link. The powerful pulse had drained much of the ship's energy. Systems were shutting down to conserve power. We need to recharge, Lyra said. But the dimensional pulse is already fading. The other void-born ships will recover soon. How do we recharge? Laura asked. Solar energy, Lyra replied. The ship can absorb energy from stars. The sun, Kate said. We need to get closer to the sun. The Starweaver turned, limping toward the inner solar system. But the remaining void-born ships were recovering. 2 of the attacking vessels were still functional, and the main fleet had slowed but not stopped their approach to Earth. They're regrouping, Laura warned. And we're low on power. Through the ship's sensors, Kate saw one of the larger void-born vessels break off from the main fleet. It was at least twice the size of the others, its black surface rippling with what looked like living shadows. Their command ship, Lyra said grimly. It senses our weakness. The massive void-born vessel accelerated toward them, moving faster than seemed possible. Dark energy gathered around it. Brace yourselves, Lyra warned. The enemy command ship fired, not energy beams, but what looked like tentacles of pure darkness that reached across space. They wrapped around the Starweaver, squeezing tight. Pain shot through Kate's body as the ship was damaged. Through their neural link, all the crew felt the ship's pain as their own. They're draining our remaining energy, Amy gasped. And ours too. Kate felt her strength ebbing. The Voidborn were not just attacking the ship. They were feeding on the life force of the crew through the neural connection. Lyra, what do we do? Kate asked, her voice weak. Lyra's 3 galaxy eyes were dim, but she straightened in her control seat. There is one option left. A last resort, the Luminar built into the ship. What is it? Laura asked, fighting to stay conscious as the darkness drained them. A complete neural surge, Lyra explained. A total joining of our minds with the ship's systems. It will release enough energy to break free and trigger a second, stronger dimensional pulse. Will it hurt us? Olivia asked. It will change you, Lyra said, more deeply than the first connection did. You will never be fully human again. They looked at each other through the neural link. Their thoughts were open, their fears visible. Earth has no other defense, Kate said. I'll do it. One by one, the others agreed. Then it is decided, Lyra said. Focus on my mind. Follow where I lead. Lyra's consciousness expanded through the neural link, drawing the humans deeper into connection with the ship. Kate felt her sense of self beginning to blur. She was Kate Walsh, but she was also becoming part of something larger, a merged consciousness that included Lyra, the other humans, and the Starweaver itself. Images flashed through her mind, memories that weren't hers. Ancient battles between the Luminar and the Voidborn, stars being born, civilizations rising and falling, Lyra's long vigil as a sentinel. The merged consciousness grew stronger, pushing back against the Voidborn's attack. The dark tentacles wrapped around the ship began to loosen as energy built once more within the Starweaver. Now, their unified mind thought. We strike now. A second pulse exploded outward, far stronger than the first. This time Kate could see it, a wave of blue-purple light that rippled through space. It caught all the Voidborn ships, from the nearby attackers to the distant fleet approaching Earth. The effect was devastating. Fully exposed to normal space, the Voidborn ships began to break apart. Their strange matter, never meant to exist completely in this reality, became unstable. The command ship that had attacked them shuddered violently, great cracks appearing across its surface. Dark energy poured out like blood from a wound. Through the ship's sensors, they watched as the entire Voidborn fleet began to disintegrate. Ships exploded or collapsed in on themselves. The command ship lasted longest, fighting against the effect. But eventually it too broke apart in a massive explosion of dark energy. As the last enemy ship disappeared, Kate felt the neural surge begin to fade. The merged consciousness gently separated, allowing her to return to her own mind. But she was different now. They all were. Looking down at her hands, Kate saw faint blue-purple lines tracing patterns on her skin, like the markings on Lyra's body. The others had them too, delicate, luminous patterns that followed their veins. What happened to us? Olivia asked, examining her changed skin. The beginning of transformation, Lyra explained, her voice gentler than before. It is how my species evolved, through connection with our technology. The Luminar were once like you before they learned to transcend their physical forms. The Starweaver drifted in space, systems slowly coming back online as it absorbed energy from the distant sun. Earth was safe for now, but all of them knew this was just one battle in a larger war. Will they come back? Laura asked. The Voidborn? Yes, Lyra said simply. What we destroyed was just one fleet. The Voidborn exist throughout many galaxies. They will sense what happened here. They will send more ships. Then we need to be ready, Kate said, looking at the glowing patterns on her skin. And we need to find the other gates, the other sentinels. Lyra nodded. There are 12 others scattered across the stars. If we can awaken them all, we might stand a chance against what is coming. As the Starweaver turned toward Earth, Kate gazed out at the stars. She had changed in ways she was only beginning to understand. They all had. But one thing was clear. The universe was larger, stranger, and more dangerous than humanity had ever imagined. And now they were part of a war that had begun before humans even existed. The Starweaver limped back to Earth, its systems slowly recovering from the battle. Kate sat in her control chair, watching her home planet grow larger through the ship's sensors. Her body felt strange, lighter somehow, and humming with new energy. The glowing blue-purple lines on her skin pulsed gently with her heartbeat. How are you feeling? Amy asked, studying her own changed hands. Different, Kate replied. I can sense things I couldn't before. Energy fields. The thoughts of everyone connected to the ship. I can even feel the stars. Me too, Olivia said. It's like we're more than human now. Laura remained quiet, still coming to terms with her transformation. The security chief had always relied on clear boundaries. Human and alien, friend and enemy. Now those lines were blurred within her own body. Lyra watched them with her 3 galaxy eyes. The change will continue, but slowly. Your bodies are adapting to the neural connection. In time you will develop new abilities. What kind of abilities? Kate asked. Enhanced perception. Longer life. The ability to communicate without words. Perhaps more, Lyra explained. The Luminar evolved over thousands of years through their connection with the technology you call the Starweaver. You have only just begun that journey. The ship entered Earth orbit. Below them, the planet continued its peaceful rotation, its people unaware of how close they had come to destruction. They're hailing us, Laura said, picking up signals from Earth's space command centers. They want to know what we are. What do we tell them? Olivia asked. Kate thought for a moment. The truth, as much as they can understand. They opened a channel to Earth. Captain Grant was the first to speak, her voice tight with concern. Kate, is that you? What happened out there? Our sensors showed massive energy discharges near Mars. We stopped them, Captain, Kate replied. The Voidborn fleet has been destroyed. Earth is safe. For now. Thank God, Captain Grant said. The Horizon's Edge is back in Earth orbit. We've been explaining the situation to the authorities. They want to meet with you, especially with Lyra. That won't be easy, Kate said. We've changed. The neural link with the ship has altered us. We're not exactly human anymore. There was a long pause. I don't understand, Captain Grant finally said. You will when you see us, Kate replied. We're coming down. The Star Weaver descended into Earth's atmosphere, its massive form causing panic in cities around the world. Military jets scrambled to intercept, but the alien ship easily evaded them. They're afraid, Laura observed, sensing the emotions from below. With reason, Lyra said. Your world has just learned it is not alone, and that there are predators among the stars. The ship landed in an empty field outside a major city. Armed soldiers and tanks quickly surrounded it, keeping a nervous distance. They're prepared to attack if we seem threatening, Laura warned, sensing their intent. Let me go first, Kate suggested. They know me. It might help them accept what's happened. A door opened in the side of the Star Weaver. Kate walked out alone, her hands raised to show she meant no harm. She wore her standard uniform, but it couldn't hide the glowing lines that now traced patterns across her skin. Her eyes had changed too. They had a faint luminescence like distant stars. A military officer stepped forward, flanked by soldiers with raised weapons. Dr. Walsh? He asked uncertainly. Is that you? Yes, General Mitchell, Kate replied, recognizing him from briefings before the Horizon's Edge mission. It's me, though I'm a bit different now. The general stared at the glowing patterns on her skin. What happened to you? It's a long story, Kate said. But the short version is that we found an ancient guardian named Lyra. She helped us fight off an invasion by beings called the Voidborn. In the process, we had to connect with her ship in a way that changed us. General Mitchell looked past her at the massive black ship. And the others? They've changed too, Kate said. But we're still on humanity's side. We just saved Earth, after all. Are you safe? The general asked. Kate smiled. We're not contagious, if that's what you're asking. The change only happened because we connected with the ship's neural network. Slowly, the others emerged from the Star Weaver. Olivia, Laura, and Amy, all bearing the same glowing markings. And finally, Lyra, her alien form towering over the humans, her 3 galaxy eyes taking in the military forces arrayed before them. General Mitchell took an involuntary step back. My God, this is Sentinel Lyra, Kate introduced. She's been protecting this part of the galaxy for longer than humans have had civilization. Lyra bowed her head slightly. Your world is in danger, General. What you faced today was only one fleet of the Voidborn. There will be others. Over the next few days, the crew of the Star Weaver met with world leaders. They explained the threat of the Voidborn and showed evidence of the battle near Mars. Earth's governments were shocked, frightened, but ultimately grateful for their intervention. What happens now? The UN Secretary General asked during a special closed session. We prepare, Kate explained. The Voidborn will send more ships when they realize what happened to the First Fleet. But we have advantages now. We have the Star Weaver and we know about the other gates. Other gates? A world leader asked. 11 more like the one we found, Lyra explained, each with a sentinel guarding it. Each hiding a ship like the Star Weaver. Together they form a defense network that once pushed back the Voidborn. And you want to find these other gates? Another leader concluded. We need to, Kate said. Earth can't stand alone against what's coming. We need allies, technology, knowledge. There was much debate, but in the end the decision was made. The Star Weaver would be given clearance to leave Earth on a mission to find the other gates and awaken the other Sentinels. On their last night before departure, Kate stood on a hilltop near where the Star Weaver had landed. The massive ship gleamed under the moonlight, its spiral patterns pulsing gently. Captain Grant joined her, keeping a slight distance. She tried not to stare at the glowing lines on Kate's skin. How long will you be gone? The captain asked. I don't know, Kate admitted. Finding the other gates could take years. The Luminar hid them well. And there's no way to reverse what's happened to you. To make you human again? Kate shook her head. I don't think I want to reverse it. I understand things now that I never could before. I can feel the connections between stars, between people. It's like I was blind before and now I can see. Captain Grant nodded slowly. Will you come back? To Earth, I mean. This is still our home, Kate said. We're fighting to protect it, even if we're not quite the same as everyone else anymore. The next morning, the crew prepared for departure. They had been given supplies, data, and good wishes from a world still coming to terms with its new reality. As they boarded the Starweaver, Kate took one last look at Earth, the blue planet shining in the morning sun. So fragile, so precious, and now so obviously not alone in the universe. Inside the ship, they took their places in the control nexus, the neural link activated, connecting their minds once more. Through it, Kate could feel the others, their determination, their fear, their hope. "Where do we go first?" Olivia asked. Lyra closed her 3 galaxy eyes, focusing inward. "I sense another gate, distant but active. It calls to me." "Then that's where we go," Kate said. The Starweaver rose from Earth, its systems fully restored after the battle. As it accelerated away from the solar system, Kate sent a final message back to Captain Grant and the Horizon's Edge. "We'll find the other Sentinels," she promised. "We'll build a defense for Earth and all life in this part of the galaxy. The Voidborn have been feeding on worlds for too long. It's time someone stood against them." The ship entered faster than light travel, the stars stretching into lines of light around them. Through the neural link, Kate felt Lyra's ancient memories guiding them toward the next gate, the next Sentinel. The glowing patterns on her skin brightened as they accelerated. They were no longer fully human, but they were still Earth's children, now venturing into the stars not just as explorers, but as defenders. Kate thought back to that moment when she had touched the gate as a joke. How strange that such a small action had set all this in motion, had awakened an ancient guardian, had changed her and her friends forever, had perhaps saved humanity. "Ready for whatever comes next?" she asked the others through the neural link. Their responses came not as words but as feelings, determination, solidarity, purpose. The Starweaver raced onward through the stars, carrying Earth's first line of defense against the darkness that hunted among the galaxies. The ancient Sentinel's eyes were open, and now new guardians had joined her watch. The ship called Starweaver hung in the middle of the huge chamber. It was nearly a mile long, shaped like a giant arrow with smooth curves. Its black surface was covered with the same spiral patterns as the gate, all glowing with blue-purple light. "It's beautiful," Kate said, staring up at the massive ship. "It is a weapon," Lyra corrected. "The last of its kind," Laura whistled. "How did something this big stay hidden? Our scans of the moon never showed anything like this." "The Starweaver exists partly out of phase with your reality," Lyra explained. "Like me, it has been sleeping between dimensions, waiting to be called." Lyra walked toward a platform that floated in the air. As she stepped onto it, the platform began to rise toward the ship. The humans followed, stepping carefully onto the strange floating surface. As they got closer to the ship, Kate could see more details. What looked like smooth black metal from a distance was actually a complex pattern of tiny parts that moved slightly, like the scales of a fish or the feathers of a bird. "The outer skin is alive," Lyra said, seeing Kate's wonder. "It repairs itself and adapts to attacks." The platform stopped beside a part of the ship that began to ripple and open, forming a doorway. They stepped inside. The inside of the Starweaver was not what Kate expected. Instead of metal halls and control rooms, it was more like a living cave. The walls curved in smooth lines. Lights pulsed along paths in the floor and ceiling. There were no sharp corners anywhere. "This way," Lyra said, leading them down a hall that widened into a large round room. In the center was a raised platform with several curved seats arranged in a circle. "The control nexus," Lyra explained. "From here we guide the Starweaver." "I don't see any controls," Olivia pointed out. "No buttons, no screens, nothing." "The Luminar do not use such things," Lyra said. "The ship responds to thought and intent. It is why I need your help. I cannot pilot it alone." Laura frowned. "You want us to? Think the ship into flying?" "In simple terms, yes," Lyra said. "The Starweaver was designed to be controlled by a group of minds working together. The Luminar built it this way to make it stronger." "How do we do this?" Amy asked. "We're not like you. We don't have your abilities. You have minds. You have will." "That is enough," Lyra said. "The ship will create the connection. But I must warn you, once connected, you will be changed." "Changed how?" Kate asked. "The connection leaves a mark," Lyra said. You will see things differently, feel things differently. You will be more than you were, but never again what you were. The humans looked at each other. This was not what they had signed up for when they joined the Horizon's Edge as explorers and scientists. We don't have much choice, do we? Olivia said. Those void-born ships will reach Earth in less than 2 days. I'll do it, Kate said, stepping forward. I woke Lyra. I started this. I'll help finish it. I'm in too, Olivia added. Laura hesitated, then nodded. Someone needs to keep an eye on you all. Amy smiled nervously. I guess I'm in too. Someone will need to study what happens to us. Lyra nodded. Sit in the chairs. I will activate the neural link. They each took a seat. The chairs adjusted to fit their bodies perfectly. The material was neither soft nor hard, but something in between that supported them completely. Now what? Kate asked. Now we awaken the Starweaver fully, Lyra said. She placed her hands on 2 spots on her chair. The spiral patterns on her skin began to glow brighter. The room dimmed, then lit up with thousands of tiny lights that looked like stars. The chairs reclined slightly. Kate felt a warm sensation flow up her arms and into her body. Do not resist, Lyra instructed. Let the ship in. Kate tried to relax. The warm feeling spread through her chest and up into her head. Suddenly her mind expanded. She could feel the ship around her, not just know it was there, but actually feel it as if it were part of her body. She could sense the others too. Not their thoughts exactly, but their presence, their emotions. Olivia's excitement mixed with fear. Laura's alertness and suspicion. Amy's scientific curiosity. And Lyra. Lyra was like a bright fire among candles. Her mind was vast and ancient, filled with memories of stars being born and dying. I can feel the ship, Olivia said in wonder. I can feel all of you. The neural link is established, Lyra said. Now we must each take our role. Kate, you will help navigate. Your mind shows the right patterns for space awareness. Olivia, your reflexes make you suited for weapons control. Laura, your protective instincts will guide the shields. Amy, you will monitor our biological responses to the link. What about you? Kate asked. I am the heart, Lyra said simply. I connect all parts. Around them, the Starweaver hummed to life. Systems that had been dormant for 50,000 years activated. The ship began to vibrate gently. We must leave now, Lyra said. The Voidborn fleet has entered the inner solar system. They will reach your planet's moon in 12 hours. How do we get out? Laura asked. We're inside a moon. Like this, Lyra said. Kate felt a surge of power through the neural link. The ship rose from its resting place. Above them, the ceiling of the chamber began to ripple and pull apart. The moon is opening, Amy exclaimed. Through their link with the ship, they could sense what was happening outside. The surface of the moon was splitting along hidden seams, creating an opening large enough for the Starweaver to pass through. The ship rose smoothly, accelerating toward the opening. Kate could feel the engines, though they weren't really engines as humans understood them. They were more like living things that ate energy and produced movement. They burst out of the moon into space. Through the ship's senses, Kate saw the Horizon's Edge nearby, looking tiny compared to the Starweaver. Captain Grant is hailing us, Laura said, somehow knowing this without any visible communication device. Lyra nodded. Open a channel. Kate wasn't sure how she did it, but she thought about connecting with the Horizon's Edge, and suddenly she could hear Captain Grant's voice. What in God's name is that ship? The captain demanded. This is Kate, Captain. We're aboard the Starweaver with Lyra. It's hard to explain, but we're linked to the ship now. We can feel it. Are you all right? Captain Grant asked, concern in her voice. We're fine, Kate assured her. Different, but fine. Captain, the Voidborn fleet is coming. They'll be here in less than 12 hours. We need to prepare. What can the Horizon's Edge do? Captain Grant asked. We're not a warship. Return to Earth, Lyra said. Warn your leaders, tell them to prepare for the possibility that we fail. There was a long pause. "Understood," Captain Grant finally said. "Be careful, all of you." The communication ended. The Starweaver turned away from the moon, facing out toward the solar system. Through the ship's enhanced senses, they could detect the approaching void-born fleet. The ships were hard to see. They seemed to bend light around them, appearing as dark spots against the stars. "They're moving fast," Olivia noted through the link. "Faster than we calculated," Amy added. "At this rate, they'll reach Earth in 8 hours, not 12. "We must intercept them before they reach your planet," Lyra said. "The Voidborn consume all life they encounter. If they reach Earth, billions will die." The Starweaver accelerated. Kate had never felt such speed before. Stars blurred around them. In minutes, they had passed Mars. The ship moved with impossible grace, responding to their thoughts before they even fully formed them. "I can see them clearly now," Laura said. Through the ship's senses, they all saw the Voidborn fleet. 20 ships, each one a nightmare of strange angles and shifting darkness. They didn't look built. They looked grown or carved from the darkness of space itself. "They've seen us," Lyra said. "They remember the Starweaver, they fear it." The Voidborn fleet changed formation. Most of the ships continued toward Earth, but 5 broke off and turned toward the Starweaver. "They're trying to distract us," Kate realized. "Keep us busy while the rest attack Earth." "We won't let them," Olivia said with determination. Through their link with the ship, they prepared for battle. The Starweaver's weapons were unlike anything humans had created, beams of energy that could tear through the barrier between dimensions, forcing the Voidborn fully into normal space where they were vulnerable. "Remember," Lyra said as the enemy ships approached, "they feed on fear. Stay focused. Stay connected." The first Voidborn ship fired, not energy weapons but streams of darkness that reached out like hungry fingers. "Here they come," Kate said, and the battle began.